Labour pushes for foreign state-owned companies to get Jobkeeper. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, I'm Florian.Heise and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this news.com article which is discussing, well, one nation standing in the way of Labour's push to have Jobkeeper provided to foreign state-owned companies. Now, a lot of people are thinking it's just helping the employers, when other people are concerned that foreign companies owned by foreign state-controlled organisations are receiving tax handouts. Where do you sit on the argument? Do you think Hanson's right? Is she being right down the middle? Or do you think Labour's right? Should we subsidise these businesses? Because that's what this is, remember. Airport workers' wage subsidy hopes dashed as one nation sides against the Jobkeeper push. Pauline Hanson's delivered a blow to some Australians with a blunt and brutal response, saying she's just being upfront and honest. And I think you couldn't argue that that isn't probably Hanson's best trait. She's upfront and honest. Some people hate her for that. Some people love her for that. Australians working at foreign state-owned companies will continue to miss out on wage subsidies after the Senate rejected a push to include them. Labor tried to change Jobkeeper's eligibility to include workers at foreign-owned companies like airline service provider Nata, which employed 5,500 people locally. But one nation sided against the disallowance, with a 30-all vote resulting in the motion's defeat. Well, here's the thing. What if you simply cap the Jobkeeper subsidy to these businesses as the amount of taxation they paid last financial year on their profits? And then if they hit that, they don't receive any more. Or you just add it to taxes they need to pay in the future. Pauline Hanson said aviation would still be largely shut down when the program decided to keep workers linked to bosses expired. And we have a family member who is literally working in the aviation industry and has been forlorn, and we're telling her, go get it, look for something else. It's not going to come back. It's not going to come back, not quick. The vast majority of the nearly 6,000 NADA workers will not have a job to return to once Jobkeeper payments end on September 27th, she told Parliament. This is going to be a complete blow to many NADA employees, but I'm being completely upfront and honest. I think a lot of people on Jobkeeper aren't going to have a job to return to, not just the people in this industry. I think a lot of people are going to have a shock. They're going to have a shock. This is the problem with all of these systems. Some people aren't preparing. People need to prepare right now. They need to be taking advantage of this. If they've got free time, they need to build up their skill stacks to find a job. Because the thing is, the people that are looking for work isn't everyone. You've got so many people who are still getting Jobkeeper, whose businesses are still continuing, whose employers, perhaps they're trading insolvent and they're ignoring their company requirements because of changes to legislation, which all ends in September. September is the D-Day for Australia's economy. It's when it's all going to hit. Even it may take several months after, but that's going to be the moment when a lot of these things come into place. Donata provides 90% of airline catering in Australia and is owned by the UAE government-controlled Emirates Group. And one thing working on some airport projects, it's just funny to see how many of those, even just the businesses in the airports, are all owned by the airlines. So let's keep going. I mean, the UAE has lots of money. They should be able to, here's the thing, if these state government-controlled businesses really care about all the workers, like they say in all their propaganda and their BS, they could afford to keep that relationship maintained themselves. They won't do it. They won't do it. Of course not. You'd be insane to. Labor Senator Tony Sheldon said it was lunacy that workers who handed people meals on flights were included, while the people who made the meals missed out. Australian workers have been shortchanged by this heartless government that have broken a compact with the people, he said. He accused the government of double-crossing employees by changing the eligibility to exclude foreign state-owned companies on May 1. They were playing by the rules only to have the government move the goalposts on the mid-game, Senator Sheldon said. Well, he's right there. He's right there. That's just an element of sovereign risk. This is what happens when the government takes control of the economy and picks winners and losers. I mean, Labour are notorious for that. I mean, come on, that's their whole approach to economic management. And what can we expect? The counter-argument is we need to step back. The state needs to be less interventionist. I can't see that happening. Well, maybe the political will form out of this. People are starting to wake up and realize how many problems occur when the government starts intervening, starts pulling levers. Maybe we just need a good old RBA real estate shutdown to stop the housing market. The housing market crashing. Maybe we need to extend the Townsville toilet tax, and we need to reinstigate the Western Australian Potato Board just to really, really push forward the Australian economy. On the back of the potato, guys. On the back of the potato, paying $1,000 to take a crap. Can you tell these last few days have got me a bit annoyed? Anyway. They were playing, but yeah, okay, we've read that. The Greens, Centre Alliance and Independent Jackie Lambie backed the disallowance, but it wasn't enough. Labor and the Greens also pushed for university workers to be included in Jobkeeper, but that was shot down for the second time in a week. Government Minister Richard Colbeck said the scheme offered unprecedented support to millions of workers. This is only a temporary measure. This is a temporary emergency measure. Universities are completely funded by they get so much money from the government, and they're completely dependent on international students. Eligibility has focused on maximizing the reach of Jobkeeper while ensuring the program is able to be implemented as quickly and as effectively as possible while remaining sustainable, he said. So there we go. There we go. We've got the Greens, Centre Alliance and Lambie pushing for foreign-owned, state-controlled businesses to receive government handouts. How many of them are there? 5,000 people. That wouldn't be a strain on job seeker. And those relationships can be simply maintained by having a phone call. By having a phone call. The businesses would know, if they've trained up the people, they will take the effort to maintain that relationship. But the other argument is, too, those employees have been paying tax, forced to pay tax their entire life. And then they're abandoned by their own nation during this time of need because they happen to be working for a foreign-controlled entity, foreign state-controlled government, that the government allowed to come here and buy up and provide jobs. So there's two sides to the argument, isn't it? Which side do you sit on? It's kind of lose-lose. The government's encouraging any foreign organisations or state-controlled entities to flood into Australia and buy everything up, one way or another. Just the review for foreign purchases, I mean, it's a bit of a joke. Because they want to create jobs. They want to create jobs, and there doesn't really seem to be that much money flowing around Australia because everything's tied up in property, one way or another. But then you've got these jobs that are created, and you've got these workers who are forced to pay tax their entire life on everything. They're struggling to get in the housing market, and now they're not going to receive that benefit. They're not going to receive that benefit. Maybe they should just all be pushed onto job seeker. What do you think, everyone? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's reasonable? Should it be extended to these businesses? Should they be subsidized? Or should the workers just be required everywhere, forced to go on job seeker? Or should we start educating people to start having a buffer? I mean, how many people do you think are going to change their habits now that we've got sovereign risk that the government can shut down the economy at their will? It's happened before. What makes you think it won't happen again? Maybe they'll need to shut down that real estate sector. I'm still shocked at that one. Still really shocked at that one. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or you can support us via PayPal. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode.